Welcome back to Orewa College 2016. It's important, I guess, at the start of a couple of days like today, that we frame up what we're going to do and just remind ourselves of where it is we've come from to get to this point. So I guess this next 15, hopefully 20 minutes is about that and putting it into perspective for new staff here and for staff that have been here along our journey, maybe in the last 4 or 5 years, where we're at, where we've come from and where we're heading, because that way we're all working off the same page and we're all working together. Many of us have been on this journey now for 10, 15, 20 years under the leadership of Kate and the senior management team and the HODs, and we're quite proud of where we've got to. And as new staff members or recently arrived staff members in the last 5 to 10 years, hopefully you've come along knowing what you've brought into at Orewa College. And while we value what you bring from other schools, this is not other schools, this is Orewa College, and this is what we stand for. I hope to do this in person, but the message might get a little bit distracted by the messenger, so I'm doing it up on an educational artefact, I guess, is what we want you to build over the next couple of days. Let's remind ourselves that this is our whare of learning at Orewa College. This is what we stand for, this is where we've come from. It's all about human beings, it's all about family. The teacher, the student, that's our foundation. First, we are human beings, this is us. We have our traditions, where we're coming from and what we're holding dear to. We have our innovation, particularly in the last 3 or 4 years. And our key platforms at Orewa College: 1, Manaaki Orewa, 1, Ako Orewa. And if we understand that framework, if we understand how Manaaki, Ako, tradition, innovation all interacts with that primary fact of humanity, then everything we do within the school, from our individual teaching to our individual departments to our co-curricular, our sports, our buildings, our professional development, everything we do aligns to the benefit of our students and our community, as we believe education should. Because education is a lot more than just gaining credits, and I know at this time of the year we count, we see how we've done. It's a core part of our business, academic success. But more and more I think people in the world are realising it's not the only part, and we're quite proud, and rightly so, and I think Kate's proud and certainly senior admin are proud that we haven't become a little certificate factory, churning out more and more people with more and more excellences. Yes, that's one of our primary goals, but it's not the only goal, and we've got so much more going for us at this school in terms of the wider, truer education of our young people, and that's towards enriched responsible citizenship, not towards purely academic success. And I guess this next story is about how we've got there and what we hold important, what we hold as the key philosophy of the school that we build on all other things. So any time we're doing something within the school, it should be within this framework, and it should be mindful of our traditions. It should be mindful of Manaaki Orewa. It should be mindful of Ako Orewa. And it should be mindful of innovation. So where did we start? We started with our philosophical base, what we believe. And what we believe is, first, we are human beings. And a great model for looking at that is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if we get that basic model correct, all else can follow. There have been many more iterations from Maslow over the years and building on his thinking, but this is basically what we look at. We assume the physiological needs of our students are met at home, but we can also look at that at school. We assume that safety and security is met at home, but we also need to be very mindful of that at school. And we love and belonging, we assume that's happening at home, and we make it happen at school through some of our programs. And so now we can work on this one, the self-esteem, the confidence, the achievement, the respect of others. And first we said we're human. The first thing we did at the school to get that right was Manaaki and the house system. And this is, remains, and I hope will always be the key to this school, because we get that right, all else follows, and we can do anything we want. So it's very, very important that we get that part of it right. It's very, very important that Manaaki stays strong, that every one of us in this room understands it, values it, teaches it overtly, in your face, all the time. Take the opportunities, take where it comes from, and teach our kids that it is probably the most important thing that they will learn at Orewa College. We don't need to go over Manaaki too much here. I've said what we really need to think about. Anna will take Manaaki on through the school as she does, but this is our key platform. I would hope, I would expect, I'm sure Kate, Anna, senior managers, the HODs and all of us would expect to walk into classrooms and see it happening in front of our eyes, respecting others, respecting ourselves, respecting the environment, and being actively talked about. Come out of content. Don't be afraid to use time, because if we use time getting this right, we will save plenty of time later on, because our students will have that understanding. So whatever else happens, I believe that this first platform, getting Manaaki right, closely followed by the house system, is the key to this being a great school. Once Manaaki was established, we then moved on to look at what makes good learning. What factors are there that will help students learn? And we started Ako Orewa, how we learn at Orewa College. And it was just a common set of basic principles, proven in literature, proven in fact, not the only ones in the world. There's plenty of alternates, but it's the ones that we chose as important for us. As I said, there's lots of alternatives that are very successful, but it's important at Orewa College that we all read off the same page. So the basic look, feel and thinking about education and teaching in the classroom is the same. The student experience is consistent. They're getting consistent messages. Everything feels similar. They're not experiencing one thing in one classroom and a different thing in a different classroom. We're not dictating your personality in the classroom. We are dictating what you do in the classroom. And it's beholden on you as a staff member of Orewa College to become totally familiar with Ako, and if you're not familiar with it, you need to get your act together and get familiar with it. And you need to use it in the classroom. You need to use graphic organisers. You need to use the language that we use in learning, in your assignments, in your writing, in your teaching, in your expression. You need to use a common classroom practice of that introduction, of telling the students what they're going to learn, how it will feel when they learn it, what it will look like when they've succeeded with it, and finish it off with a plenary. All the things about Ako I'm not going to go over now. It's all available on professional development. It's all available through your HODs, and it should be being used daily, every single day. And let's again come out of pouring content into students' heads and think about the process in which they can engage content. They can get content off the internet in an instant. It's the thinking that goes behind it. And I guess that's what Ako is all about, making sure that that's right. We get that right, we've got Manaaki right, we're well on our way to being a very, very successful school. Okay, so what are the next 2 days about? Well, it's understanding this model and understanding where you're going to go and making some sort of educational unit of work based on this model. An educational unit of work that you will teach in term 1 or 2 and present as a TAI, hopefully. It's up to you as part of what you do and part of what the school does. But this is a model that we all need to understand, because this is a model we've worked to over the last 4 years since the introduction of technology. We were the first to introduce one-to-one devices at the school. Effectively the first big secondary school to do that and make it compulsory. So in doing that, we started down a track that we've got to follow. And it's a track that I believe, and many of you here believe, is the right track. It's a track that the rest of New Zealand have now followed. So let's keep abreast of what we're doing. Let's keep innovating. Let's keep making it better and better for the students and understanding the technologies that are involved and the advantages that those technologies give teaching and learning. So in this model of TPAC, we have the technologies. We've gone one-to-one, BYD. We've got the internet and all its resources available to us. We've got different ways of presenting, video, picture, sound, all the things that weren't possible maybe 5 years ago. So as teachers, we've got to look at that. We have a pedagogy at Orewa College called Orewa, how we teach and learn. Right? And that's what we expect from you. We employ you. You've come to Orewa College not just to teach content, as you've done for the last 4 or 5 years or 20 years of your teaching, but we employ you to use our processes at our school for our students and our community. And I guess that's what leadership's all about. We have that privilege. Kate, senior leaders and the HODs can expect that of you. You work for us. So let's get on board over the next few days and get going. We understand that you guys are experts here. This is your passion. This is the easy part. You have this knowledge. You want to impart it to other people. It's yours. You love it. It's great. But we have to do it and do it well. And we do it through ACO, through Manaki, through TAI, and through what we're doing over the next couple of days, understanding this SAMR model. So altogether, TPAC is the package which we teach under. So SAMR, if you've been here for any longer than 10 minutes, you would have heard this. If you don't understand SAMR, if you haven't read it, if you don't know what it's about, you need to get your act together and read it. Understand it. Because only by understanding it will your mind open up and think, I could do this in a different way. I could do this in a better way. SAMR stands for substitution. Technology acts as a direct substitute with no functional change. Instead of handwriting an essay, I type it on a computer. A stands for augmentation. Technology acts as a direct substitute with some functional improvement. In my essay, which is typed, I can add hyperlinks linking to other information. I can add a picture. I can do all sorts of things. Modification. Now I can do wonderful things because I'm not stuck in a pen and paper world. I'm stuck in a digital world that's wide open with video, with sound, with colour, with resources coming out of our ears. And my job now is a lot more about curation of information, sourcing, finding, ordering for students. And finally, at the top of the SAMR model, redefinition. It allows for things that we never thought we could do. And this is where we want you to try and experience. This is where we want you to go over the next couple of days. Blue skies thinking, try something wonderful. Don't worry about failure. That'll come out in a TAI, that's fine. You're not going to kill the kids by failing in one unit of work. Give it a go. Understand where you went right, where you went wrong. Modify it to make it better the next time. And if we can all make something in our departments, we can all share those experiences, and the resources and the thinking and the teaching and the learning that we will come up with will be wonderful. So it's important to understand a couple of things. This is not a ladder. This is not an end point. We don't necessarily want everybody doing this all the time. It's too hard. We will get to the point where this end of the scale is probably where we work most of the time. However, we need to understand this bit, this bit, this bit, and this bit